evening and thanks for joining us on Nationwide today. I'm Elizabeth Omori. The House of Representatives Subcommittee on Public Assets investigating public-private partnership arrangements in the country has carried out a physical assessment of organizations in Tinkan Island and Apapa in Lagos. The committee, led by its chairman Uche Okonwo, visited 9 companies, 6 in Tinkan Island and 3 in Apapa, where it directed that 2 out of the 9 companies be sealed for refusing to grant audience to the committee.
The subcommittee that is investigating the PPP and lease agreements for the lease lands on the NTA. The committee is here. I'm here with my colleagues. We're here to do on-site assessments for companies in which have tied agreements with the NPA. And we're here to look at the fact that what they are signed up for in the agreements, that's what they're actually doing.
The committee is to invite the managements of these companies at a later date for the review of their documents submitted. Now to education, NELP Fund has commenced registration and disbursement of loans to students for the 2024-2025 academic session, taking its sensitization campaign to some tertiary institutions in Edo State which did not benefit from the last disbursement. Olayin Kaujo brings us details.
Founded against the rapid increase in youth demography and the pressing need for skilled professionals, NELP Fund serves as a sustainable financial resource for students in public tertiary institutions. With inclusivity and affordability at the heart of the initiative, in more than 200 days of its establishment, the fund has so far disbursed more than 138.3 billion naira in institutional and upkeep loans to 800,017 students. For the 2024-2025 academic session, it has successfully enrolled 130 institutions in its student verification system so far.
This institution we are here today is not on our portal, it's not on our list. So they are currently not enjoying this government largesse.
And to kickstart the process of enlistment, this sensitization has the convergence of 3 tertiary institutions with about 6,000 students located in Edo South Senatorial District. Abba Victor is a HND2 Business Administration student of Edo State Polytechnic, Use. He is the first child in a family of 6 to acquire tertiary education.
I didn't know it would come this early, but I'm excited it has actually come.
Let's join the train. Let's take advantage of this opportunity.
Pray the gospel around every nooks and cranny in Edo State, that every Edo State citizen have the right to quality education.
As part of the initiative, the NELP Fund team also visited the Benin Technical College to assess their facilities.
What they offer here quite aligns with our proposed skills that we plan to roll out.
With this initiative, no Nigerian student pursuing academic excellence should have an excuse not to complete tertiary education. Olayin Kaujo, NTA News.
Talking security, the Nigeria Police Force has achieved another significant milestone in its ongoing fight against crimes, with successful operations in Abuja and Nasarawa states leading to the rescue of kidnapped victims, the neutralization of notorious criminals, and the recovery of firearms and ammunition. A statement by the force's public relations officer Olumuyiwa Adejobi says operatives in Abia State acted on intelligence and stormed a hideout in Osisioma local government area following the abduction of 4 individuals along New Umuahia Road in Obingwa on March 9, 2025, neutralizing 6 suspects and rescuing all victims unarmed. The police recovered 2 AK-47 rifles, 6 magazines, and 34 rounds of live ammunition. The rescued individuals were immediately taken for medical evaluation. In a separate operation in Nasarawa State, a combined team of the Nigeria Force, the Nigerian Army, and local vigilantes tracked down a wanted kidnapper in Akwanga. He was intercepted near Akwanga Central Mosque while attempting to flee on a motorcycle. When confronted, he pulled a firearm but was swiftly neutralized. A pistol and 12 rounds of ammunition were recovered. Meanwhile, an accomplice escaped with gunshot wounds and a manhunt is currently underway. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, commends operatives for their bravery and coordinated efforts, warning criminals to desist or face the full wrath of the law. Strengthen national security, protecting national assets and building a safe and secure country to guarantee safety of lives and infrastructure. The pledge taken by the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Ebonyi State Command, which engaged critical key players in the state to ensure achievements of the goals. Caleb Ogbonna tells us more.
To forge new strategies to curb emerging security threats and cement the achievements recorded so far, the Security Summit by the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps was organized.
It is a platform for sharing insights, discussing emerging threats, reinforcing the importance of unity in the fight against crime.
A day dedicated to strengthening security measures and fostering collaboration in safeguarding critical national assets.
The engagement afforded participants the opportunity to aggregate ideas on how to chart a pathway that guarantees the safety of lives and properties, which they insist is only achievable through synergy by key players.
As a government, security of lives and property of the citizens of the state remains our first line charge.
What you have as the police force is what the society gives to it, is what you have. That is the truth.
Apart from the award of recognition given to Governor Francis Nwifuru and others for their support to the NSCDC, there was also induction of members into the civil defense community. In Abakaliki, Caleb Ogbonna, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the 43rd ECOWAS Chiefs of Defense Staff meeting has ended in Abuja with a strong commitment to combat terrorism and other trans-border crimes. Chairman of the committee and Nigeria's Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, says the platform provides an avenue to critically examine resolutions of the last meeting and prescribe measures to combat emerging regional security threats. Similarly, the
ECOWAS Committee of Chief of Defense Staff reaffirm our dedication to strengthening military collaboration, intelligence sharing, and capacity building to safeguard our nation and people.
We know the challenges we're facing and how important it is for us to cooperate and collaborate together, as no nation, no single nation or single entity can confront the challenges we're having. We need to work together as brothers and sisters.
Similarly, the Minister of State for Defense, Bello Mohammed, enjoins ECOWAS Chiefs of Defense Staff to strengthen military collaboration, intelligence sharing and capacity building to safeguard the region and its people. This was during an event organized by the Defense Headquarters for the 43rd Ordinary ECOWAS Committee of Chiefs of Defense Staff in Abuja. Now, desperate attempts by some drug traffickers to move illicit substances concealed in prayer beads, board games and female clothes to the United States of America, Middle East and Europe have been thwarted by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA. Salwa Khalil Ibrahim reports on this and the advocacy at Premier Academy in Abuja on the war against drug abuse.
The consignment include cocaine, tramadol, loud, molly, among others. At least 2 suspects behind some of the aborted missions at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, have already been arrested. Other shipment of 230 kilograms of cocaine concealed in prayer beads, soles of locally made shoes, and packs of board games heading to the Saudi Arabia, Poland, and United Arab Emirates were equally intercepted. In Abia State, NDLEA operatives raided Intiga community, where a 34-year-old suspect, aka Young Money, was arrested with 274 grams of heroin, 141 grams of methamphetamine, 2.931 kilograms of cannabis sativa, 4 grams of cocaine, and more than 753,000 naira monetary exhibit. Meanwhile, the West African Action Network on Small Arms has taken the War Against Drug Abuse Advocacy to Premier Academy, Abuja, where students were urged to shun substance abuse and be worthy ambassadors of their family and community.
I learned a lot about the new kinds of drugs, different kinds of drugs, and how they can affect people, how to prevent it, and how to advise people that are drug addicts and how to take care of them.
Drug is a menace at the moment, worldwide. And in order for us to curb it, we have to start from our children, so that we have a peaceful society and a lawful society.
When there is no drugs in the society, there will be total elimination of gun violence, there will be total peace in the country, and there will be no issue of advocating against illegal proliferation of small arms and light weapons. And Nigeria can be better for it.
In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
You're watching Nationwide on NTA. For more reports, let's head to Makurdi, where Fatima is standing by.
And thanks for joining us in Makurdi. Operatives of the Makurdi Zonal Directorate of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, have impounded 8 trucks conveying suspected illegal solid minerals. A statement by the image maker of the commission, Dele Oyewale, notes that the 8 trucks were impounded at Katinala local government area of Benue State. The solid minerals, suspected to be fluorite and ironstones, were mined from some illegal mining sites in Logo local government area. The statement adds that the suspects will be charged to court after concluding investigation. In the spirit of Ramadan, acts of charity, Quranic recitation, and fervent prayers have been described as some of the endeavors to attract Allah's immense rewards to Muslims in the month of Ramadan. This is the position of speakers at the maiden joint Ramadan lecture organized by the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, the Nigerian Television Authority, Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, and the Broadcasting Corporation, all in Lafia, the Nasarawa state capital. Ayena Jaye Auta has details.
The first joint Ramadan lecture organized by Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, the Nigeria Television Authority, and Nasarawa Broadcasting Corporation, the 3 major broadcast outfits in Nasarawa State, showcases interagency collaboration, unity and cooperation in Islam.
We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts all our ibadah, our soul, our ruku, our sujood, and our supplication.
Our coming together is a very good thing, and the topic too is apt, because we need to keep reminding ourselves about the virtues of Islam and the benefits it brings to us.
Governor Abdullahi Sule, who was the guest of honor, encouraged Muslims on feeding the needy in Ramadan, which is an act not only for the wealthy, but all Muslims, as it attracts immense reward.
Take this Ramadan as if it is your last Ramadan. Worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as if this is your last Ramadan.
High points of the event witnessed Quranic recitation and lecture by guest lecturer Professor Muhammad Tanko Aliyu Baitullah of the Department of Islamic Studies, Federal University of Lafia, where he highlighted what Ramadan is, its significance in Islam, its virtues and the duties of humanity during the month of Ramadan in order to gain rewards from Allah.
Fast with sincerity, to feed and show generosity, to all and sundry, to show mercy and compassion.
The Ramadan lecture had at its theme, Virtues of Ramadan, Gift to Humanity, and it is to be made an annual event. In Lafia, Ayena J. Auta, NTA News.
And that's it from Makurdi. Nationwide continues in Just with Mary. After this timeout, stay tuned.
I am Oluremi Tinubu, the global and national Stop TB champion. Many people have asked why I've chosen to champion the fight against a disease like tuberculosis. My reason stems from a deep personal experience. I once had a friend who unfortunately fell ill and concealed the nature of his sickness until it was too late. Eventually, after he passed, we discovered he had tuberculosis. Sadly, due to the stigma and discrimination surrounding the disease, he would not speak up or seek for help. His death was a painful reminder that we could have intervened and saved a life if only we had known earlier. Tuberculosis is an airborne disease that primarily affects the lungs, but can also impact other parts of the body. Being airborne means anyone, regardless of their social economic status, can contract it. In Nigeria, one person dies of TB-related illness every 7 minutes, amounting to 206 deaths every day. Globally, one person succumbs to TB every 25 seconds, which is a staggering 3,456 lives lost daily. These deaths are entirely preventable because TB is curable if detected and treated early. If you or someone you know has been coughing for 2 weeks or more, coughing up blood, experiencing night sweats, or losing weight drastically, it might be TB. Please visit the nearest government hospital or primary health care center for proper diagnosis and treatment. TB treatment is free in all government and some private health facilities. Let us also remember not to stigmatize or discriminate against TB patients or those who have been treated for TB. Individuals who have been cured of TB cannot infect others. I call on all stakeholders, especially the private sector, to join us in the fight to end TB in Nigeria. Together, we can make a difference. Remember, TB anywhere is TB everywhere. End TB by 2030. Yes, we can.
Have you heard the news? The federal government of Nigeria, through its direct benefit transfer program, has started the disbursement of 75,000 naira per household in 3 installments of 25,000, 25,000, 25,000 naira. Each recipient must have a validated national identification number, NIN, to receive the payment on behalf of their household members. To benefit, your household must be in the National Social Register of Poor and Vulnerable Households in Nigeria. The federal government's direct benefit transfer program is helping to reduce the effect of suffering while promoting financial and economic inclusion for the poor and vulnerable population in Nigeria.
Sunana Safiya Ismail, ni daga Gwagwalada Area Council, a karkashin Giri, ina da yara 7 da mijina. Sana'ana sadda itace. Akwai damuwomi da yawa, rashin kudi. Da musanta zaka ga itace zai kare, ba kudi ne zaka siya wani. An kira ni, ayi Safiya Ismail, nace yes. Come for your benefits at Angwandodo Gwagwalada. Suka bani ATM din, immediately na withdraw kudi na. Amman gaskiya kudin ya zo at the right time.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation, Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, in collaboration with the National Social Investment Programs Agency, National Social Safety Nets Coordinating Office, and the National Cash Transfer Office.
Nigeria is perched on the treasure trove of solid minerals. Gold, coal, tantalum, tin, but none is more critical to our future or the world's future like lithium.
Let's talk about illegal mining operations. What is our strategy?
Thanks for staying with us as a latest. Hopefully, we will be joining our Just Network Center in the course of the bulletin. Now, First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has backed the 2024 Woman of the Year award. The award was conferred on her by the Independent newspaper in Lagos. State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo reports.
The award, as the 2024 Woman of the Year, is conferred on the First Lady Oluremi Tinubu in recognition of her numerous impact on women and other key segments of the society, not only as the First Lady of Nigeria, but also as a former legislator and wife of a governor. Receiving the award, the First Lady, represented by wife of the Speaker, House of Representatives, Fatima Tajuddin Abbas, noted that the honor would spur her to do more for Nigerians.
The First Lady would like to dedicate this award to every Nigerian woman, youth, and children who contribute to the growth of our beloved nation.
Former Deputy National Chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Chief Olabode George, made the presentation on behalf of the organizers.
The awardees, may the Almighty God ensure that this award you are taking tonight will add more value so our nation, Nigeria, will get to that level that the Almighty God has promised us.
Also at the award, Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde got the Man of the Year award, while former APC National Chairman Chief Visa Kunde got the Lifetime Award alongside 27 other achievers. In Lagos, Adini Itaiwo, NTA News.
Congratulations to the award recipients. Now, the Federal Ministry of Art, Culture, Tourism and the Creative Economy is set to transform the sector through an artful alliance with the Ministry of Finance Incorporated, Morphe. Gufan Shajigwine reports that through a memorandum of understanding, the Minister of Art, Culture, Tourism and the Creative Economy, Hannatu Musa Musawa, will bring her knowledge in Nigeria's rich cultural heritage to the table as the Ministry of Finance Incorporated, which is the asset manager of the federal government of Nigeria, collaborates to make a significant impact on Nigeria's economy through the ministry.
With the mandate that the President had given us to think outside of the box, we were very lucky to also come into contact with an arm of government, with a team that also has that same vision, that hunger for innovation. So in working with you to put up this fantastic structure for the creative and cultural industry in a way that helps us open up that, potential.
So I can imagine that when we create a platform that allows artists like yourself and many others to showcase their artwork, that it isn't just about art, it is true economic prosperity. That our artists would no longer just be thriving on being celebrated as artists, but they would achieve economic empowerment.
Collaboration is expected to unlock the full potential of Nigeria's creative industries, driving growth, innovation and job creation, with the creative sector already contributing 4% to the country's GDP. National President, Nigeria Union of Journalists, Alhassan Yahya Abdullahi, says the union is working towards a media enhancement bill that will see improvements in salaries and working conditions of journalists in Nigeria. This was during a press briefing to commemorate the 70th anniversary of the union. Ekene Undulwe reports.
Solidarity forever.
The 70th anniversary is an opportunity for the union to assess its present position and consider the future of journalism in Nigeria amid innovations and evolving audience expectations. The national president is concerned about several challenges in the industry, including poor salary and working conditions of journalists.
Low pay and poor staff welfare are driving skilled individuals away from the media industry. Long hours, tight deadlines, and poor working conditions create an unhealthy environment leading to stress-induced ailments.
Technological innovations have also brought about increased misinformation and disinformation, and the union has outlined a new paradigm to address the challenge.
Nigerian journalism must embrace a new paradigm: accountability, responsive journalism, investigative and critical journalism. Number 3, creative and innovative storytelling. Number 4, global practice and national interest. And number 5, strengthening media literacy.
NUJ says the 70th anniversary will be marked with a series of commemorative events that will be unveiled in coming weeks. In Abuja, Ekene Ndulwe, NTA News.
In other news, President Bola Tinubu congratulates Dr. Fene Osakwe on winning the Cyber Personality of the Year Award at the 2025 Cybersecurity Awards in the United Kingdom. Dr. Osakwe is the chairman of the Lagos State Cybersecurity Advisory Board and the first African to win in the Cybersecurity Awards category. He was recognized for his exceptional leadership, advocacy, and expertise in cybersecurity and data privacy, clinching the prize ahead of other finalists from the United States, the UAE, Qatar, the Netherlands, and UK. President Tinubu congratulates Dr. Sakwe's achievements, underscoring his immense contributions to cybersecurity and his efforts to evolve new horizons in the field, stating that Dr. Sakwe's nomination and subsequent win highlights the global impact of young African professionals in cybersecurity. The Federal Judicial Service Commission has confirmed the appointment of Kabir Akombi as substantive Chief Registrar of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. Akombi was appointed in acting capacity on the 13th of February 2025, following the retirement of the immediate past Chief Registrar of the Court, Hajo Sarki Bello. Prior to his appointment, Akombi was the Deputy Chief Registrar in charge of the Election Petition Tribunal unit of the Court of Appeal headquarters in Abuja. He comes to this job with a wealth of experience in law and information and communication technology spanning 2 decades. Let's head to Lagos, where Awal is standing by with some reports. Nice to see you, Awal. Let's head to Lagos.
Beth, it's good to see you. 11-year-old Amazing Grace Salami has emerged champion of the first ever Spelling Bee in Nigeria, spin hosted by the U.S. Diplomatic Mission Lagos, with an all-expense-paid trip to represent Nigeria at the upcoming competition in the United States of America. Acting U.S. Consul General says it is to commemorate 100th anniversary of the competition in the States. Adiola Komi Akiri reports.
M-L-A-N-G-E, launch. We have a champion!
Nigeria's brightest young spellers demonstrating academic excellence at the prestigious competition, promoting literacy, linguistics prowess, and love of the English language, as history was made when Amazing Grace Salami became the first ever national champion of spin.
Only by working together can we develop the peace and prosperity of Nigeria and the United States, and getting youth involved and active and is wanting to do better is one way to make that happen.
Convener of the Spelling Bee in Nigeria's spin, Eugenia Tache Menson, said the children who were between the ages of 8 and 13, numbering over 200 from 15 schools across the country, were taken through rigorous and novel learning experience, navigating a preparatory phase.
The criteria is not discriminatory. The criteria is that you must have access to the internet because it's an online-based program, and you must have a number of teachers dedicated to teaching, to wanting to support the learning process for the children.
So the overall winner, the first and second runner-up, are also going to be trained in Nigerian culture and music.
A total of 64 children made it to the grand finale, going through 7 elimination phases to get the final winner of the maiden edition of the Spelling Bee in Nigeria.
It was too much preparation because I did not go to school the whole of this week.
And so I was at home learning more words. I could not play at all.
There was a lot of sacrifice made on her part, on the family's part.
And I feel really proud of myself right now. Shout out to my grandpa. During summer holiday, he was drilling me so much. And it really paid off because I'm literally going to be on news.
She is just a very curious child. So I'm not surprised that she got this far.
The Spelling Bee Nigeria final coincides with the 100th anniversary of the Script National Spelling Bee in the United States. Nigeria is the second country in Africa to participate in Scripts. The Spin Nigeria champion gets an all-expense-paid trip in Lagos. Adeola Komiakere, NTA News.
Emergency responders want Lagos residents, particularly truck drivers, conveying inflammable products to place premium on safety precautions to avert fire disasters that can lead to loss of lives and property. In the wake of recent accidents in transportation of gas, Joel Popola reports that stakeholders are calling for proper storage and handling of combustible materials.
The recent fire incident near Otedola Bridge, which claimed lives and damaged houses, has once again put the issue of safe transportation of inflammable products in the front burner. Emergency responders are saying it will no longer be business as usual, as stringent measures will be taken to avert a reoccurrence.
The agency has engaged in a massive and aggressive advocacy for all tankers and truckers in the states to make sure that they prioritize safety at all times. Their vehicle, they should always do routine repair and maintenance of the vehicle. And in case of fatigue on the part of the drivers, they should be able to rest.
The safety principles also apply to markets, which are most times flashpoints for inferno.
Everywhere. You know, the markets, you need to have first response. You need to teach people what to do.
Proper orientation on safety, experts say, is also vital.
Many usually have so many flammable materials stored in the house without fire extinguisher or any safety measure in place. Many put their gas cylinders inside the kitchen without having fire blankets or fire extinguisher in their homes to be able to do a first aid.
Emergency responders urge managers of public and private infrastructure to put in place preventive measures for fire outbreak and to mitigate its impact. In Lagos, Joel Bukbola, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Lagos. Nationwide will continue with Diba Bari in Port Harcourt after this break. Don't go away.
From the Atlantic across the savannah to the Sahara, we rise, a land of the free, we know they tired.
Port Harcourt. It is believed that the name of a person is an important part of his or her identity. In a society like Nigeria, a name can carry a cultural meaning as well as have a deep personal or historical meaning, all of which are important. Although it is not always the case, different people are given names due to the circumstances of their births or prevailing situations and seasons. And in this special report, Joy also takes a look at some names, their meanings, and if such names turn out to be the reality of the bearer.
Maurice Mandel, an American educator and journalist between 1911 and 2009, from the viewpoint of integrity, says that a name is a blueprint of the thing that is commonly referred to as character. An important part of a person's identity is provided in his name, as it suggests a sense of who the person is, and essentially, one's thoughts and behaviors may even be shaped by the name he or she bears.
People should give their children a good name, and you yourself should bear a good name that will make you to be somebody in life.
Which like Oruware, what it means in the Okrika dialect is ritual, this and those type of name not go well with the child.
There are names that when it's given to that child, that name will reflect in the life of that child.
Other respondents were also of the opinion that the name an individual bears is a unique identifier that either brings honor or dishonor to the owner, expatiating that the honor or dishonor a name bearer gets from their name is dependent on their deeds, implying further that the name may also mean responsibility, as everyone is or should be answerable to their name.
Sometimes people answer horrible name. Before, that's what our people used to do, but these days we have defined it in a different way, where the name you bear, if definitely you work towards it, you can get result out of it.
The respondents surmise that in spite of it all, the quest for survival, especially in these contemporary times, has shrouded the integrity that should resonate from a person's personality based on their names, necessitating a constant reminder among all and sundry that a person's name outlives them and should thus be cherished. In Port Harcourt, Joy Uzo, NTA News.
With vision being one of the most vital senses of the body, the importance of understanding and managing glaucoma cannot be stressed enough. Medical experts say early detection is essential to limiting visual impairment and preventing the progression towards severe visual handicap or blindness.
Glaucoma is a group of eye diseases that causes damage to the optic nerve, which is the nerve that carries visual information from the eye to the brain. This damage is usually the result of increased pressure within the eye, which can be caused by a buildup of fluid that flows through the eye. According to World Health Organization, this condition is the second leading cause of blindness in the world. What makes glaucoma particularly insidious is its asymptomatic early stages, hence the importance of early detection, regular eye care, and community education to prevent vision loss.
Visual health does not only ensure that you see clearly. It is through the eyes that we can tell oftentimes whether somebody has diabetes. It is by looking at the eye that we can also determine whether somebody has hypertension.
Glaucoma does not really have symptoms, as it were. That means that your eye can still be normal, you can be seeing clearly, yet you have glaucoma destroying your optic nerve head. So you can see that the only remedy or the only way to discover that you have glaucoma is by having a comprehensive eye examination by an eye specialist at least once every year.
How many Nigerians are abreast of this silent thief of sight and the best way to protect their vision?
I avoid sharp objects from coming around my eyes.
If you don't take care of your eyes, you will get blind.
With greater awareness and research, health authorities can work towards preventing and treating glaucoma, thus saving the vision of millions of people around the world. In Port Harcourt, Chidiebere Onyia, NTA News.
And that does it from Port Harcourt. It's back to Elizabeth for the rest of the news. Good evening.
Thank you, Dibabari. And still talking health, Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Ali Pati, says the federal government is taking steps to address funding gaps in the nation's healthcare system following recent withdrawal of donor support by the United States. He stated this at an interactive session with the House Committee on HIV/AIDS, Tuberculosis and Malaria. National Assembly correspondent Mitari Ikme reports.
A cloud of uncertainty over funding of public health programs led the House Committee on HIV/AIDS, Tuberculosis and Malaria Control to invite the Minister of Health for clarification. The minister informed lawmakers that some initiatives by the Tinubu administration in the health sector helped in mitigating the effect of the sudden withdrawal of donor support by the United States.
We are conscious that there may be priority items in the short term which would need to be procured as a matter of emergency to ensure there is no gap, and that there is medium term over the next 1 to 2 years what we need to provide in the context of 2025 and 2026 and 2027. And then the longer term, what needs to happen in terms of the structure of our medical industry so that we can be able to buy all those items here in Nigeria. All levels of government have to pull their weights so that we achieve.
I have called for malaria treatment to be made free at primary health centers in Nigeria to ease the burden of malaria in our country, and for the subsidization of basic malaria drugs and consumables. We must work together to ensure we get this right and rid our country from all public health threats by 2030.
The lawmakers stressed the need for regular interface with the minister to ascertain progress in bridging funding gaps in the nation's health sector. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
Away from health, in an ongoing inspection of Nigerian roads under construction by the Federal Minister of Works, the Minister of State for Works, Bello Mohammed Goronyo, inspected sections 1 and 2 of the Sokoto-Gusau Road dualization project with the optimism that the completion period is achievable. Bashir Ibrahim Nababa completes the story.
Project sites by the Minister for State Works, Bello Muhammad Goronyo, is in line with the marching order by President Bola Tinubu for the ministry to embark on infrastructure assessment tour to ensure compliance to contractual agreements and timely delivery of quality work by contractors handling various federal government roads for the benefits of Nigerians. The Sokoto-Gusau dual carriage highway is part of the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu on critical infrastructure to enhance security, fast-track economic growth, and improve connectivity in the Northwest region. The ministerial train had a stopover at one of the project sites for an interface with a contracting firm to ascertain the level of progress. Bello Goronyo insists on execution of nothing other than quality work that will endure for many years, which is what the President Bola Tinubu infrastructural transformation is all about. He noted that potholes repairs are carried out simultaneously with the ongoing construction of the new concrete road to ease vehicular movement. Goronyo maintains that the completion period for the project is realistic with collective efforts of all stakeholders. The Federal Ministry of Works, FEMA, and other stakeholders will collaborate to come up with measures to ensure that these roads are safeguarded for maximum use.
There is a lot of advantage in building and maintaining a good motorable road. So we call on all the stakeholders to support Mr. President to ensure that our roads are adequately maintained so that we can reap the benefits of those infrastructure, which Mr. President has placed a very serious priority on it.
The ministerial train continues with its project delivery inspection tour to other parts of the country. From Sokoto, Bashir Ibrahim Nababa, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the present administration's commitment to projects that will uplift the socio-economic life of Nigerians will not be deterred with comments or critics who label these projects as wasteful. Minister of Works David Umahi reacted to criticisms made on the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway while inspecting the first section of the road. Larry Bilei has details.
The goal to unveil the first section of the Lagos-Calabar Highway by May this year is becoming a reality as the fast pace of work on the concretized section surpasses time projections. This, the minister describes as a confidence booster. He used the opportunity to set the record straight on remarks made by some Nigerians.
Why single out this one, to say that it's wasteful? Is it wasteful because it is connecting to all the, existing roads that, we make life very easy, that from the existing road, you just come to this, and from here to Calabar, you'll just be there in 5 hours. So travel time will be achieved, and it will be less. It's an evacuation corridor. Presently, in the next, 6 months, we'll be able to have this section 1 completed. And so the problems we are having in transloading, ship that the draft are so deep, will now be betting at the Lekki deep sea port.
The minister, however, welcomed all criticisms on the administration's road projects, saying he's got answers that prove beyond doubt that they are done within the ambit of the law under careful considerations of its socio-economic importance and the years of legacy it portends for national development. In Lagos, Larry Bilei, NTA News.
To climate change matters, the House of Representatives is making moves to ensure that MDAs establish climate change desks as provided in the Climate Act. This was during an investigative hearing on the implementation and challenges of the 2024 budget between House Committee on Climate Change and Security, as well as some ministries. National Assembly correspondent Mohammed Rabiu Ali reports that the meeting at the instance of the House Committee on Climate Change and Security reviewed the 2024 performance of ministries aimed at addressing challenges of climate change and security issues.
I must re-emphasize that we have to take this Climate Change Act very, very seriously in this country. There are a lot of money to be, gotten from the international community, and until we'll be seen to be taking this matter very seriously, I don't think we'll probably have access to such funds. The Act specifically said that every agency, ministry, parastatal, MBAs will have a climate change desk. This committee cuts across every agency, every committee in this country.
Now, Nigeria can guarantee its food security by adopting smart agricultural practices and making a deliberate effort to grow what the nation's population needs. This was the view shared at the 8th annual Ramadan lecture of the Ashraf Islamic Foundation in Abuja. Abdullahi Ajiya brings us details of this event, which aims to foster spiritual growth while inspiring national development.
Based on its core principal objectives of supporting the growth of society while guiding Muslims and citizens on the religion of Islam, the Ashraf Islamic Foundation this time brought a crack team of both agricultural and religious experts to dissect the topic: Ramadan lessons on food security, building Nigeria's path to sustainable economic growth and national development.
Your food you take must be adequate in terms of quantity and nutrients.
For a nation that cannot truly feed itself, that nation is bound to not truly develop fully and will also be vulnerable to external shock, social unrest.
Organizers and Islamic clerics emphasize empowerment through agro-allied businesses, as demonstrated by the Ashraf Islamic Foundation empowering 200 people with disabilities.
The solution is for each and every one of us to learn how to farm on our own without any serious capital.
The essence of religion is to solve the problem, social and spiritual problem. So the essence of this program now is to solve the two at the same time.
I've been able to unite Mullah Ummah, whereby we have been enlightened.
Oh Allah, provide food insufficient for Nigerians.
The 5-in-1 event also held a national prayer for Allah's intervention in the affairs of the country, as well as an exhibition to support the growth of small and medium enterprises. In Abuja, Abdullahi Hajia, NTA News.
When the sun dips below the horizon, Muslims break their Ramadan fast. Here in Abuja, the Al-Habibiyya Islamic Society continues a tradition spanning over 1,400 years, hosting an interfaith iftar that brings together people across cultures and faiths. Correspondent Ibrahim Danhamidu reports.
In a remarkable display of interfaith harmony, the Al-Habibiyya Islamic Society brought together Muslims and Christians to share in the joy of iftar and to squash mistrust that festers across the nation.
We are from God and we pass through the soil to go back to God again.
From the first day of Ramadan until the first day of Shawwal, we ensure that we feed souls.
The description of those who are high class of learned among the Christians is that they are humble.
What's even more remarkable is that Christians contributed generously to feed thousands of Muslims gathered at the Al-Habibiyya Islamic Center in Abuja. A powerful gesture of solidarity and friendship. And in a fascinating coincidence, the Christian fasting period, Lent, overlapped with Ramadan.
According to scripture, in Isaiah chapter 58, the Bible says, when you fast, but you do not care for your servants, when you fast and you not give people who are hungry food to eat, God will not accept your fast. So whatever good we are doing to those poor people, to the less privileged, we're actually doing it to God. We're actually doing it to the Lord.
In this spirit of unity and friendship, the Al-Habibiyya Islamic Society's Interfaith Iftar shines as a beacon of hope, illuminating the path to a brighter, more harmonious future. In Abuja, I'm Ibrahim Hamidu, NTA News.
And next is Sports Update.
Nigerian's para-badminton sensation Eniola Bolaji has again solidified her dominance in the game by winning a second medal in 2 weeks. This time, the Paralympics bronze medalist triumphed over Turkish Alimet Yadish 2-0 in 21-7, 21-10 in the women's final at the Spanish Para-Badminton International in Toledo, Spain.
My expectation now is to go to more tournaments to qualify for the World Championship, and this is going to involve more funding and support from the Commission and the Federation. And I want to thank them for being there for me always. And for the private sector too, they should please come and support me.
Recall that Eniola Bolaji won a gold medal also at the 2025 Spanish Para-Badminton International Tour in Victoria last week. Ahead of Nigerian hosting of the 2025 UFAC African Karate Championship scheduled for July 21st to 27th in Abuja, Vice President of the World Karate Federation, Bechir Sherif, has inspected facilities of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium venue for the championship. Led by the President, Nigerian Karate Federation, Silas Agara, and other board members, the team inspected the velodrome in Package A and other designated venues in Package B, with a view to ensure that the facilities are up to standard to stage the event.
The African Championship will be here in this stadium now. They arrange everything to be more clean and more, but I hope that it will be ready before.
And I'm quite hopeful and I'm quite sure that with the leadership of the Executive Committee members of the Nigerian Karate Federation, we will live up to expectation of the African leadership and the world leadership. The world will see what Nigeria can showcase.
And finally, South African Football Association SAFA President Danny Jordan has congratulated Nigerian Flamingos on their impressive victory over South Africa in the Under-17 Women's World Cup qualifiers. The Flamingos dominated the two-leg tie, securing a 5-1 aggregate win in the second qualifying round. Despite the setback, Jordan offered words of encouragement to the South African team, commending their dedication and looking ahead to the future. With Sports Update, Oche Ngbedi, NTA News.
And Sports Update ends nationwide this evening. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Good evening.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.